Welcome. Tonight, we're opening doors to some deeply disturbing stories. Cases where individuals were just swallowed by the unknown. We're looking at disappearances where the evidence vanished or the facts just don't line up, leaving, just questions. Haunting questions.
Exactly. These aren't just cold files. They're stories where even basic things like a name or where someone was, it just evaporated.
Yeah.
All that's left are these really unsettling possibilities.
Okay, let's start with one that's genuinely chilling. Samuel Little, a man who claimed to be one of the most prolific serial killers ever, said he killed 93 people.
And investigators have confirmed 36 of those.
Yeah.
But it's the others.
Yeah.
The ones we don't know. That's where it gets incredibly disturbing.
Yes, and the evidence he left, it's unique. While he was serving life in prison, Little drew these portraits, 16 of them, from memorial.
Of the women he claimed he killed.
Exactly. And they have this, this uncanny quality, almost too real. Little insisted he drew them just as they looked in their final moments.
Capturing that instant of terror when they realized what was happening, it's incredibly dark.
The FBI, they actually released these drawings. They were hoping anyone would recognize them, give these faces back their names.
And they had some success, right? Didn't they link a few?
They did. 3 portraits were eventually matched to skeletal remains found years earlier.
But that still leaves
13 women who are still just portraits, nameless. Nobody, no family, no friends ever reported them missing. They lived, died violently, and were just forgotten.
It's terrifying. You look at those paintings, and it's like looking at the idea of a person, a painted ghost. They existed, they suffered, and then nothing. Instantly erased.
It makes you wonder how that's even possible.
Well, Little often targeted marginalized women, people on the fringes whose disappearance might not, unfortunately, ring immediate alarm bells.
The FBI is still working on it through their VICAP program, Violent Criminal Apprehension Program, trying to connect these faces to unidentified remains.
So if anyone watching or listening thinks they recognize one of those faces, VICAP is the place to contact. It's a long shot, but these women deserve their names back.
Definitely. Okay, let's shift now. From anonymity created by a killer to, a vanishing act that happened in mere minutes. Kelly Berg Dove.
Ah, yes. Harrisonburg, Virginia, 1982. Kelly was just 20 years old, a young mom.
She was working the graveyard shift at the Imperial gas station, just trying to pay the bills, and tragically, she'd actually traded shifts with someone that night, June 18th.
A real sliding doors moment. Horrible.
What happened next, we only know through 3 incredibly quick, frantic calls she made to the Harrisonburg police. The HPD.
It all unfolded so fast.
At 2:27 a.m., the first call, Kelly reports a customer harassing her, says he's improperly dressed.
Okay. Just a routine call at that point, maybe?
Seems like it. But then, just 2 minutes later, 2 to 9 a.m., she calls again. She needs an officer now. The man is outside the station yelling obscene things at her.
Right. Escalating very quickly.
Then, at 2:31 a.m., her final call. You can hear the panic. She's pleading for help. The man is still there, lurking near a silver or gray car.
And the police? When did they get there?
They arrived at 2:33 a.m.
Just 2 minutes after her last call.
2 minutes. But she was gone. Vanished.
And the scene.
That's the really strange part. Absolutely no sign of a struggle. Her purse was right there on the counter, had her ID, cash, a magazine she'd been reading. It was like she just evaporated.
Oh, that's chilling. But didn't the police investigation have issues?
Huge issues. According to reports, they did a terrible job securing the crime scene initially, didn't properly dust for fingerprints, didn't search thoroughly for, trace evidence.
They didn't even close the store, did they?
Unbelievably, no. The store wasn't immediately closed off, which means any potential evidence, hair, fibers, prints, anything, could have been contaminated or lost almost immediately.
That's just devastating, especially considering the location.
Exactly. Harrisonburg is right on I-81. It's a major route. It's sometimes used as an alternative to I-95, and it has this grim reputation connected to human trafficking.
So a crime of opportunity seems likely. Someone passing through.
Probably. But because of those critical errors in the first few minutes, the chances of ever finding out what happened to Kelly, they're sadly very slim. It highlights how vital that initial response is.
That first hour, even the first few minutes, can make or break a case like this. The evidence is so fragile.
Okay, let's move to a case with a different kind of problem. Not a lack of information, but conflicting information. A confusing digital trail. Caitlin Atkins, 2015.
Caitlin was 19. She was visiting family in Caroline County, Virginia. She was actually about to fly back to Arizona, start a cosmetology course. Her flight was booked for December 5th.
Right. Her mom, Lisa, said goodbye that morning, thought Caitlin was heading straight to the airport.
But the plan changed, or at least the story did.
Yeah, this is where it gets weird. Caitlin's stepfather, James, was supposed to drive her. Later, he told Lisa he didn't take her to the airport. He claimed he dropped her at the Springfield metro station instead.
Why? What was the reason?
He said Caitlin wanted to go to the mall first, kill some time. But Lisa, her mom, found that really odd. Caitlin wasn't familiar with the metro system at all. It didn't sound like her.
Okay. And then the text started.
Yes. This strange string of text messages. First, to her fiancé, Amber, around 11:56 a.m. Messages like, something came up, I'm not coming back today, and I won't be able to text for a bit.
Okay. Vague, maybe a bit concerning.
Then, at 2 p.m., a text to her mom, Lisa. I'm at the airport, battery dying. And again, so wouldn't be able to text for a bit.
Contradictory to the first message to Amber saying she wasn't coming back that day.
Exactly. But the real alarm bell for Lisa was a text later that evening, around 7:15 p.m., hours after her flight should have left. It said, I'm staying with a friend. I need some time alone.
And why did that one worry her so much?
Lisa said Caitlin never double texted like that, sending multiple messages without waiting for a reply. It just felt wrong, completely out of character. She suspected someone else might be sending them.
Or that Caitlin was under duress.
Maybe. Then, 2 days later, December 7th, Caitlin's suitcase turns up. Abandoned on River Road. Miles away, 44 miles from that metro station James claimed he dropped her at.
Wow. Okay. And what was inside?
Her wallet, her cards, her plane ticket, all still there, clothes neatly folded, though apparently a few items were missing.
So the runaway theory takes a big hit there. You don't leave your ID, money, and plane ticket if you're running away, especially not 44 miles from where you supposedly started.
It points away from that, yeah. But there's another layer. Investigators found a Facebook message Caitlin sent to a friend just before she disappeared.
Oh, what did it say?
She admitted she'd seriously messed up the night before, said she got drunk, slept with a couple she knew. She felt terrible, depressed about cheating on her fiancé, Amber.
Okay, well, that does provide a potential motive for wanting to disappear for a while. Shame, distress. It complicates things significantly.
It absolutely does. It gave investigators a reason to explore the possibility she did run off. But the family, they don't buy it. They're convinced it was foul play.
And they suspect the stepfather.
They point to James, citing what they felt was his lack of cooperation, though investigators apparently ruled him out, so the case is just stuck. Conflicting digital trails, physical evidence that points elsewhere, and a family convinced something terrible happened. It's unresolved.
It's a perfect example of how digital footprints can sometimes muddy the waters just as much as they can help. The data points in too many directions.
Right. Let's end with maybe the ultimate mystery. A man locked away in maximum security in Toronto, Canada. He's been there since 2013. And nobody, literally nobody, knows who he really is.
This is a fascinating one. He was arrested for fraud, right? Or quite a bit of money involved.
Over $400,000 worth, yeah. When they caught him, he gave them name. Herman Emmanuel Fancoma. Said he was French, even had a passport.
But it was fake.
Completely fake. Authorities quickly figured that out. And then they discovered he'd used other aliases, too, in at least 11 different countries.
So a sophisticated con artist, clearly. But why the mystery now?
Because he refuses to talk. Whenever police or officials try to ask him about his real identity, his past, anything, he becomes, quote, extremely aggressive and uncooperative. Just total silence on who he is.
And this creates a legal problem, doesn't it?
Huge one. Canadian law says they can't deport him unless they know where to deport him to. They need to confirm his nationality, his identity. Without it, he's stuck. Indefinitely. In maximum security.
Which leads to the big question. What is he hiding? What secret is so important, so dangerous, that spending potentially the rest of his life in a maximum security prison is the better option?
The theories are pretty wild. Maybe he fears being sent back to a country where he'd be killed. Political reasons, criminal underworld connections.
Or maybe something else. His level of sophistication, the multiple passports, the absolute refusal to break. It has hints of something more organized.
Espionage.
It's definitely one theory. Perhaps he's a former agent, maybe from a defunct agency or state, and going back or even being identified would mean certain death from his former associates. Or maybe exposure of secrets he carries.
It's incredible to think about. He's essentially chosen prison as a sanctuary.
Whatever, or whoever, is waiting for him on the outside. It must be terrifying. Scarier in his mind than never seeing daylight again outside of prison walls. He's weaponized anonymity,
So we've looked at these cases. Samuel Little's Forgotten Victims, Kelly Berg-Dove's 2-minute window, Caitlin Atkins's confusing digital path, and this Toronto inmate, this cipher.
And the thread connecting them all is really the power of the unknown, isn't it? How fragile identity can be, whether it's stolen by a killer, lost through negligence, obscured by technology, or deliberately thrown away.
These are the dark corners, the gaps in the records where the truth just remains out of reach. And the questions linger.
It really makes you think about how much we rely on documentation, on systems, just to prove who we are.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time we have for this deep dive. We hope these stories gave you something to think about. The persistence of these mysteries is, well, it's unsettling.
If you want to hear more stories like these, exploring the unsettling and the unexplained,
please be sure to like this video, share it with others who are interested in these kinds of cases, and definitely subscribe to our channel, Horror Docs. We bring you terrifying and true stories regularly.
thanks for joining us.
We'll see you again soon.